Fatoumatta Sandeng is the spokesperson for the campaign to bring Yahya Jammeh and his accomplices to justice. She joins us now via Skype from Berlin, the capital of Germany. Fatoumatta, a very good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the Globe.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
Very ghastly findings. Talk to us about them.
Well, first of all, I hope everybody knows about Gambia as of now, because we were, let's say, very famous for the wrong reasons in 2016. And that was because of our dictator, Yahya Jammeh, who ruled the Gambia for 22 years. And his rule was dictated by arbitrary arrest, killings of political opponents, witch huntings, like you have said, and sexual abuse as alleged by a lot of other young women. This we are fighting against as victims and also as activists to see that Jammeh is brought to justice, also alongside the people, his accomplices, who bear the responsibilities of the greatest crimes in the Gambia.
But do we know how these acts could have occurred unaccounted for during his 22-year rule?
Well, those are the tactics of a dictator. I mean, he is in control of the whole system, and the system works for him. You see that all of the things that he does them undercover and have people who would be shot, and then they wouldn't say anything. Just like we have seen with Reconciliation and Restoration Commission of the Gambia, that junglers, that his killer squad, have come out to contest in the daylight to the people that they have been sent uh, on numerous occasions to kill people, to torture people. And by then, they did it once, twice, and many times. And they still kept quiet to do that because he was a dictator who could have killed them, they themselves, and they were scared for their own lives too. So those were the tactics of a dictator. He instills fear in people and uses people as tools for the things, the bad things that he wanted to do. So those things happened undercover because he was in control.
So what would ordinary Gambians like to see happen to their former leader?
Justice. We want to see Jammeh brought to justice. We want to see Jammeh and his accomplices tried in a court of law. This is what would satisfy Gambian people, Gambian victims, and also victims all over, let's say, West Africa and also other parts of the world, because we have seen that not only Gambians were victims of Jammeh's atrocities and crimes.
But to have those supporters who still want him back home, just how influential is that group?
Well, you have the worst people in the world who still have people who believe in them. But we don't take those people's beliefs and their support as genuine enough as our fight. We believe in our fight. Everybody has seen what happened in the Gambia, and that is what we are focusing on. Everybody has a choice. To me, I think they are inconsiderate enough not to sympathize with. I will not even say sympathize, but also not to take into consideration what the victims might be feeling or might have lived, having gone through the things that have been inflicted on them by Jammeh and his government. So that's normal. You have the worst people in the world who still have people who believe they had done nothing wrong. So that is not relevant. For us, what is relevant is to bring Jammeh to justice and knowing that he committed those crimes.
Now, talk to us about Jammeh's presidential treatment program, in which HIV-positive Gambians, we do understand, were forced to give up their medicine and put themselves in Jammeh's personal care.
Well, those people, from their own accounts, were put there forcefully, and they were forced to abandon their own medicines, like you said, and then they were put under Jammeh's observation and his treatment, which they didn't accept. But then, as I said earlier, he was a dictator who had the grip on the people of the Gambia at the time, and he had people who worked for him. The soldiers were there. You had the paramilitary, and you had this group called the junglers, specific people who did all his dirty work for him, and also made people obey him, made him look like the saint and everything else that he was not. But then people would have to obey against their own will. And you have these people also lodging their complaints, and they will also be heard at the Truth Commission in the Gambia. And I think when the time comes, we would hear everything clearly from the horse's mouth. But what is factual is that they were taking their forcefully, not in consultation with what they wanted to do.
So the Commission has only 1 year remaining in its mandate. Is it likely to be extended?
Well, the Gambian victims want to see justice done, so we wouldn't appreciate it to be extended. And we know that the Commission wants to work within the time frame, and we, the Gambians, also the Gambian victims, want to see that happen. The 2-year mandate is what we expect, and we expect that within this 2-year mandate, one year of which is already gone, that all the findings would be done, also the recommendation be wrapped up and presented in the time frame that was allocated from the start. That's what we believe.
And how many of his accomplices do you think could be prosecuted?
Well, that to me depends on the recommendations of the Truth Commission, because they are responsible to hear people's claims and their accusations, and also look into these accusers and see those people who are responsible for the crime. So it depends on how many people they find guilty of, let's say, the greatest crimes in the Gambia. Because we have seen people who have come out to explain that they have killed almost 44 people, or let's say more than 44 people, but counting. Those were the West Africans who came to Gambia and they were killed. 44 of whom were Ghanaians. We had the junglers coming to explain that. Such people are people who need to face justice, and also many other people who have been involved in crimes in the Gambia. So, as I said, depends on the recommendation of the Truth Commission, and we want every single person, at least the people who have done very heinous crimes, to be tried alongside with Yahya Jammeh, to see that Gambians and Gambia at large has justice.
And we do understand that that Truth and Reconciliation Commission is modelled on South Africa's investigation into apartheid atrocities. So do we know if it will follow the same procedure or the processes?
Well, I wouldn't be able to conclude, but then the initiative is taken from not only South Africa, but also other countries that had set up the truth commissions in their countries to find out the truth, and also recommend prosecutions of those victims. Also, the mandate of the Truth Commission, part of the mandate of the Truth Commission, is to reconcile Gambians and to forge ahead, to forget about what happened. But I always say that we cannot move on. We can never reconcile without justice being done. Yes, we can reconcile, but only when justice is done is when we can reconcile. So to me, I don't think there will be another way taken, which is not giving the victims what they deserve, which is justice. And then what follows could be reconciliation, could be reparation, could be a lot of other.
So I would like to see more Gambians coming out and, just highlighting some of the abuses that were perpetrated to them.
Well, a lot of Gambians are coming out speaking, especially at the Truth Commission at the moment. And that is very, very applauding, because before you have that climate of fear in the Gambia. But what happened in 2016, which was the torture to death of my own father, who was an opposition leader in the Gambia, who stood against Yahya Jammeh to say that what you're doing is wrong. And unfortunately, he was tortured to death. That galvanized every other thing that happened in the Gambia, alongside a lot of other things, of course. So you have Gambian people not okay, fearless. We believe that what happened before cannot happen again. We believe that keeping quiet about atrocities or things that have happened to us would only help the dictator or the perpetrator stay where he is without being brought out to face justice. So coming out, talking about it is the only way. And then we have seen young Gambians, girls who have gone through sexual abuse, coming out, people who have been tortured, who have been maltreated in the Gambia by the Jammeh government the past 22 years, coming out to share their stories. Who would not have done that before? But because things have changed in the Gambia, awareness has come, and people have realized and understood that it is only when they come out to speak the truth, to bring out things that have been hidden. This is the only way that the Commission can know what happened, and also give their recommendations as to what should be done, and also that justice is served.
Just a quick one, Fatoumatta. Do we know if this commission will lead to trial or prison for some of these perpetrators? And do we know for sure if Mr. Yahya Jammeh will be extradited from Equatorial Guinea, where he is currently in exile?
Well, I would say for sure right now that it is a bit difficult because where he is in Equatorial Guinea, it is it is a country where another dictator is ruling. So you see that he is harbored by his own type of a person. So he's a bit reluctant at the moment to give Yahya Jammeh to the people. Or let's say for him to be extradited from there. But all efforts are being done. We have a lot of things going on to make sure that we pressure and we bring Jammeh to justice. That is why we have the Jammeh to Justice campaign in the Gambia, also a sister link in Ghana, which is Jammeh to Justice Ghana, where 44 of its own citizens were killed. And so we are doing everything possible. We know it takes time. We know it's not just one day or 2 days or a year or 3 years. Take, for instance, the case of Christian Habre, which took over 10 years. But the people were patient and then they did everything. They never relented. And we took our motivation also from the victims of Chad, who did everything possible with the help of Reed Brody, who was their lawyer, who is also helping us in our quest to bring Jammeh to justice. And also the purpose of the Truth, Reconciliation, and Reparation Commission in Gambia is also to recommend for prosecution for. So that is its mandate, its purpose. So I don't see any reason why it shouldn't happen.
Fatoumatta Sandeng, the spokesperson for the campaign to bring Yahya Jammeh and his accomplices to justice, joining us via Skype from Berlin in Germany. Thank you so much for your time.